am joined by the iconic legend that is Christin Neddens. Yeah, how are you?
Thank you. I'm well, and it's great to be here. Thanks so much for your time, Ollie.
Well, I heard you were partying hard with Simon Phillips last night, so it's a miracle that we've got you this early in the morning.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Firstly, can I just say congratulations on the release of your new book? The new book, Creative Flow, the ultimate drum workout, is out now. It's been getting a load of attention. Talk to me about it, and how did the idea come about, and why is this so special for you?
Yeah, so it has always been my wish to write a book. I really like the clarity in books. When you write down things, you have some kind of clarity, and I really like that in my learning progress. So nevertheless, it took me a couple of years to find a concept, and I've been teaching at universities for, I think, meanwhile, 8 or 9 years. So I saw a lot of different characters, and my plan was to find a concept which might be appropriate for everyone in terms like of no matter from what genre people are, from or what age they are, or no
Mm,
matter how experienced they are. So
mhm.
you see, it took me a while to combine all these different aspects. And my plan was also to write a book not about just one topic, like just about rudiments, because there's so many great players out there who
Mhm.
could do that better than me. So the plan was to write a book about the perfect practice routine. And so I started writing that book, I would say 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, so it took a couple of years. And I think 1.5 years ago, I tried to be more concrete about everything. And then the plan was to divide that book into 4 or 5 chapters. So a chapter about hand and finger motions, a chapter about kick or yeah foot workouts, another chapter about time flow exercises, so everything which has to do with groove and flow,
Mhm.
and the last chapter should be about creativity and soloing, and that's yeah meanwhile the result. So they're exactly these 4 chapters, and yeah, the title is, as you said, Creative Flow, the ultimate practice routine, and it's a collection of smart, short, yeah, hopefully very efficient exercises. And it's a lot of fun to practice that because the exercises are not so long. Usually I just use 2 or 4 bar phrases, and that makes it
Okay.
pretty efficient, hopefully.
No, I mean it's been getting so much love online, but I feel like you're kind of you as a product now, you're like this kind of Instagram drum educator. I know that you teach at universities and all those other things, but what I love about the what you put out is that for those who can't read music, you always put the notation on the bottom of your stories so you can hear it, you can see it, and you can then even learn to read just from following what you're posting. It's almost like if people didn't know how to read, they can learn it just through watching your videos. Was that a big thing for you to kind of get people on board that maybe couldn't read, that maybe with your help could now even start to begin to?
Yeah, absolutely. So to be honest, to create just these short exercises, as I said 2 minutes before, so usually I use just a 2 or 4 bar phrase, and
Yeah.
that definitely comes from the Instagram work. Because for me, it turned out, okay, the display is so small, on
Yes.
your mobile phone. I didn't have so much space. So and when I started with the Instagram work, so when the pandemic started, literally, yeah, I just used or just created these short little phrases, and I felt like the people or the followers really appreciate that because
Mm,
it's like, oh, it's just 1 bar. I can do it. It's just one
yeah.
bar. Come on.
Yeah.
And that's maybe the motivation or the efficiency or part of the efficiency behind it. And so yeah, I did that with almost every chapter. Sometimes you can also find 8 bar phrases or whatever, but usually I transferred that kind of concept into that
That's
book.
cool.
Yeah. So it
I,
definitely had an impact.
I love it. I love it. And I love also as well, I think it's so much emphasis on the importance of social media, drummers getting their stuff out there. I love the production of what you put out, the sound, like everything just looks crisp and clean. I imagine in between your job as being a working drummer, as a session musician and an educator, finding time to put those things together must also feel like another full-time job.
It is, yeah, absolutely. And it's usually pretty overwhelming, to be honest. I
Yeah.
try to do my best like everyone else. I mean, we all have to deal with the same issues, I think. And meanwhile, I'm a bit more experienced. I think 2 or 3 years ago, it was very stressful because I mean, um, the pressure is quite high. I always try, like everyone else, to post 2 to 3 videos per week, but
Right.
with all the live concerts and I've also a long teaching day once a week, and so it's quite hard to handle everything. And meanwhile, as I said, I'm a bit more experienced and I'm not so
Hmm.
stressed anymore. So I'm a bit more relaxed, even if I was not able to post something. And sometimes I use my time a bit more efficiently in a way. If I see,
Mhm.
okay, I've a free day, then let's produce 3 or 4 heel toe
Yeah.
workout videos instead of
Yes.
just one and be super extremely precise and perfect with that. So yeah, I try to be a bit more relaxed with everything, but it's hard. It's a hard job, definitely. Yeah,
And
and I
and
could
talking
use someone. I could need someone.
be like a PA. Talking of heel toe exercises, your right foot, I think, has become almost as famous as John Bonham's. Your right foot is absolutely crazy. How did you get so good doing those kick drum exercises and just making it also look and sound so effortlessly brilliant?
Thank you for the compliment. Yeah,
You're welcome. Call it £5. No, I'm joking.
thank you. Um, yeah, the heel toe technique. I mean, it's not an old technique, so it popped up maybe 2 or 3 years or 4 years
Hmm.
ago. I mean, Jojo Mayer started with that, I think, but
Yes.
it also looks a bit different, whoever it um, yeah, does it. So I saw it when I think Lana Lewis
Oh,
was it Ramia, and I think he did that single line thing like with just with one foot, and I was like,
yes.
what?
I mean, he's a
Hey,
machine.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I was like, okay, that's in a physical meaning. That's interesting. Let's check that
Mm,
out. And I also saw a couple of videos from Annika and
mhm.
from a couple of other great players. And just I tried to check out that technique, and it took really, really long, like in terms of month. And after month, I haven't had any kind of result. It started aching, everything. It was terrible,
Right.
to be honest. And
Right.
still, I'm still not in that um, in that it's still not the case that I have the feeling, okay, in a live show, I could easily just I don't know. I'm still a bit scared to use it, you know? So it takes a while, but I think I started maybe 1.5 years ago. So I think it's okay for that short amount of time. And when I started posting that first video, I remember that I was in Munich and I posted it and I switched off my mobile phone. And just 10 minutes later, I checked it out and it had over, I think, 10,000 views. And I was like,
Mm.
what? I never experienced that. So the algorithm, um, yeah, it worked in that case pretty
Oh,
well.
well.
And meanwhile, I'm doing this, or I've been doing this since, yeah, a couple of months or maybe over just, I would say 1 year. And especially on Facebook and on YouTube, almost every second clip went viral.
Wow.
2 million views, 2.5 million, 3 million views. It's pretty crazy. And
Wow.
I mean, I'm a musician. I composed, or I also studied composition and things like that. So if I'm honest, I wish videos with high quality music would when go viral. You know what I mean, right? But nevertheless, I'm grateful and happy and thankful, and yeah, I keep going with that kind of stuff just
Hmm.
for educational purposes, I think.
Yes.
Um, Meanwhile, I have an online store, and I just to check out. A lot of people ask me, "Do you have educational material?" And that was the reason why I created a little heel-toe education package. And
Mm.
um, it's yeah available in my store, and people really a lot of people buy it all over the world. It's
Wow.
pretty crazy to see that. And I mean, yeah, and beyond of that, I really like the video thing. Just yeah, I like to have a to practice something and to have a cool little result at the end of the week. And so like
Yeah,
cutting videos and photography and everything. It's yeah, definitely my thing. So
that's
can
cool.
combine everything, and that's pretty cool.
And another thing that is your thing, which you own and has become part of you, is your enormous collection of hats. How many hats do you have? Because this has become such a massive thing. You have more hats than me, and I feel like I've got loads.
It's that true. Okay, yeah. A lot. Same thing with sneakers. I think I have sneakers and caps in every
Yeah.
color modulation. I
Oh,
just, especially bluish things. And yeah, you know all that. I mean, you've seen my videos. I'm a bit addicted. I don't know. I think it started in California when I studied there. I really like the light conditions. As I said,
yes.
very interested in photography and everything. And so, yeah, these light surfer colors, I really like it. And yeah, that's my thing.
It's definitely becoming. I did wonder if perhaps you'd got your own like storage unit or something just for this enormous collection of hats. But I just thought that has also become as famous as your drumming. But talking about kind of non-drum related things, what is a hobby of yours, or what is an interest of yours apart from photography and film that you love just as much as drums that maybe might surprise people? You might have a love for, I don't know, pasta, or you might love collecting artwork or something. What is something about you that might surprise people that you absolutely love?
Honestly, I'm interested in a lot of things, everything which broadens my horizon. So I'm very interested in, I don't know, other planets, history,
Wow.
stars, everything which
Okay.
broadens my horizon. I always need this panorama in front of my nose.
Okay, okay,
Um,
that's cool.
And I really love history, honestly. And in Germany, it's always a special things. Now, and this year, 80 years of the Second World War. So I'm listening to a lot of podcasts at the moment because it's interesting. We all have um, roots, and I'm really interested in that kind of stuff. And yeah, what else? I mean, I love traveling and
Of course.
diving deeper into other cultures and
Yes.
languages, of course. And um, sports. I
Okay.
really like sports and
There's a lot
surfing.
there.
Yeah.
You have a lot of interest. That's cool though. I always think it's great, talking to drummers is cool, but also like learning about them is, as people, on a level of humility. Like it's so interesting. Um,
Yeah.
your book, we mentioned a moment ago, it's picking up a lot of interest already, and it's only been out a short amount of time. I know it's available on your website, or through Instagram and Facebook for people to get it. But already, have you considered about what you might do as another educational piece to put out there, or are you kind of just sitting on that one book for the time being?
I know this is just the beginning,
The
I would say.
beginning.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the book, as you said, it's available on in my online site, but also on Amazon and Toman and literally everywhere. And that's
Mhm.
pretty cool. I'm thankful for that because I think if I would have done it alone, it wouldn't have been possible. So the cooperation with Alfred Music was really, or is really, really great. Refer to that aspect. And yeah, I have also already a couple of ideas in mind. I think sight reading, to be honest, is a thing people are really scared of. A lot of times, I mean, a lot. I know a lot of students. I've teach a lot of students, and that has always been a topic, which is a bit, I'm not good at that, and could we practice that?
Okay.
And I studied jazz, and in the jazz genre, and also in the especially in the big band genre, it's pretty common that you're able to sight read something. But in other genres, it's not so common, and people, especially beginners, are often scared. And this. Especially this aspect opens so many doors, and I just want to show that it's not that hard because
Mm.
it's quite limited. You know, if you have a 4/4 bar, there are not so many options in that bar, you know?
Yes.
And it's easier than I would say um, ear training, or like when you have to deal with complex harmonies and things like that. So I
Yes. Yeah.
think that that next book, and this is not only for drummers, it's also for other musicians. It's about maybe rhythmical side reading, stuff like that. Yeah, but let's see. I mean, there's so many interesting topics, and the based on my experience, it was so much the whole writing process. It was a lot of work, but it was so much fun every day. I mean, I really like creating stuff, and my goal is always, no matter what kind of exercise I create, that both body and mind are equally challenged. So we all
Yes.
know that aspect when we practice an
Hmm.
exercise, and our mind already knows everything, but our hands and feet are not there yet, you know? And this creates usually frustration within our practicing process. And I always try to prevent that aspect. So I'm interested in creating smart, little, efficient things. And that was a lot of fun. Yeah, the whole process was really, really cool. And so
Mm.
I feel very motivated. I could start immediately, I would say. Yeah, it was really cool.
And as an educator and somebody that, obviously teaches at universities and, you teach a lot of drummers, every month, is there one bad thing that a lot of drummers, is there like one bad habit that you always or you see a lot within drummers, whether it's maybe the way they hold their sticks or the way they sit at the drum stool, or is there something that you see regularly that is like a common reoccurring theme within kind of the brackets of bad habit, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think one of the most common mistakes, if you're not so experienced, is that um, a lot of people are bit stiff because they are scared. I also remember that when I started
Mm.
practicing, I usually feel in a lot of cases I felt very stiff. Yeah, there was a strong body tension behind it. And one common mistake is that a lot of people or drummers doing this motion instead
Yes.
of being aware of this elegant uh, elegant motion, you know.
Mm.
So focusing the wrist of a smooth wrist motion,
Hmm.
very, very important. And when you sit behind a pad or a snare drum and just doing rudiments or whatever, another common mistake is to have this kind of
Yeah.
uh, posture instead of just this, you know?
Hmm.
So, and whenever you see this or this, you know, or
Yes.
this is not so good. So, understanding how our body moves naturally, that's another aspect I think behind the drumming.
Mm.
A lot of players are very talented and do it very naturally. They don't think about that. But there are also other players who are more these kind of overthinkers or whatever, and and then you need to correct that. And it's interesting when you observe children, they usually have a very natural grip.
Yes.
It's really interesting. So obviously, the school system, which forces us to sit down for several hours per day, does something with us.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of
Okay.
interesting aspects, but there are definitely a couple of common um, mistakes, and that's more a mental aspect. But and that's also what I try to include when I wrote my book. It's more a mental aspect. So a lot of people think, okay, there are these talented people, and there are a lot of players which are not so talented. You know, we always tend to find this shortcut in terms of explanations. Oh yeah, he or she is able to do that because she's t or he's t talented, and other people are not.
Mm,
That's the reason. But it's definitely about the way how you practice. And
right.
I've seen so many different characters, and even in my studies or when I studied, I thought, wow, okay, I had a couple of colleagues and I saw their progresses, and some people didn't develop their playing very well, and I always try to find the reasons for that because from my point of view, um, these colleagues were or these people were equally or yeah, both very well talented in a way.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, cannot be the reason for that. It must have to do with the way they practice. And that's
Mm,
definitely the reason. And yeah, I try to include uh, these aspects into my book. Yeah. So that's
yes.
more a component, but yeah,
Amazing.
definitely important.
You've inspired so many people, even on a daily basis, whether you're teaching or whether you're posting videos or giving us content that is jaw droppingly good. Um, what is one thing you wish somebody had told you early on in your career about the drums that you now pass on to others through your teaching?
Yeah. In retrospective, I would say I would have wished that a lot of people shouldn't have given me um, advices.
Right.
Because a lot of people, especially in that scene, but also in the academic scene, and I mean, they have their experiences, and from that point on, they try to recommend something, and that's totally fine. But I experienced it so many times that people said, "Oh, you will never be able to do that, or you will never play in a radio big band in Germany," which is quite a big thing in
Mm,
Germany and the jazz scene. Or, "Oh, you will never, I don't know, be seen on an international base or whatever." And if I look back now, I mean, for me, it feels also a bit crazy. I studied composition, I studied music, really complex stuff, and I'm still very interested in complex music and virtuous
mm,
music and drumming. And nowadays, I'm just doing with my right foot, chuck, and then it has, I don't know, 2 million views, and that's completely crazy in a way. But if
yes.
someone have told me that years ago, I would have never believed in that. So
Wow.
the result is um, intuition is very important. And
Mm,
I should advise something to younger drummers. I would say um, be a bit careful. Don't share everything, and just check out who is really able to give something, or
mm,
who really wants to give something, you
mm-hmm,
know?
mm,
The good teachers I had, like Peter Erskine, Jeff Hamilton, and Aaron Sarfati, all these, they all they all had this component. They really wanted to share something, and that's very important aspect, I think. And I wouldn't listen too much to that people who just say, "Oh, this is how it should be," or blah blah, without giving seriously something. But I mean, it's a rough business, and I think it's important to go through all of that kind of stuff and just to learn. It's all just a journey, and
Mm,
we all want to experience that, the good and the bad sides. Yeah.
amazing. Um, Christin, thank you so much for coming on, sharing sharing with us so much information and some really helpful pointers and some tips in there as well. Once again, congratulations with the release of your new book. And we can't wait to see what happens next, and we will hopefully, touch wood, see you very, very soon. But for now, thank you so much for coming on Drummers Review and sharing so much wisdom with me.
Thank you so much for the lovely questions. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Ollie.
Oh, stop it. Come on, stop it, you.